Alright, this is the start of my video about the WASR 1063, and I'm showing you a picture online because I already polished my furniture on my WASR, and I wanted you to see what it looked like raw. So we're going to move right along into my video about tactical upgrades that I made to my WASR 1063 and how I got it up to snuff so it would be a good looking weapon. Alright, let's get right to it. Okay guys, so this is my new WASR 1063, and I am going to be putting tactical furniture on it and probably a red dot sight. So I just wanted to make a before video. I will attach it at the beginning of the after video. I'm not going to do a how-to. There's plenty of good videos out there that show that, and so instead of doing that myself, I'll just show you what it looks like afterwards and tell you why I did what I did. But for right now, this is what it looks like. I actually got it with unfinished furniture, and yesterday I went ahead and stained the furniture with a Bombay mahogany. It's a very nice color. In any case, that's the video, and the next thing you'll see is the tactical version. Okay, so just wanted to show you some stuff here. This is Never Dull, and it is a polish for aluminum tires, but it works great on some of your internal parts on rifles and pistols to smooth out the action, so on and so forth. On this other side, you can't really see it, but it is the polishing compound that you get for your Dremel tool. And these are the two things I use to polish up the inside of the basically the arm here. So try to get this straight here, sorry. Alright, so there you go. This is the piston arm. You can see where there's some wear there. I did some of that because that's where it's sliding into the piston tube on the rifle, and so that's where I made sure that I did some polishing. The other thing that you need to see, excuse me for moving so fast with the camera, but I want to show you this as a part of it. But if I can get it to where it's just right and you can see, I'll try to move it to where I can get it in focus. That's about as close as I'm going to get. I polished the feed ramp for the piston tube. I also polish all the way around it because it doesn't just hit on the feed ramp. Sometimes it hits over to the side, and you have to kind of play it by ear on what you're doing there. So I also polished the feed lip for the chamber to make sure that it was working well. Another part, let me see if I can just back out far enough so you can see good. There's the rails. I polished those with the Never Dull and like a credit card, and I did that on here as well as on the bolt carrier. So just so you know some of the internal stuff that I did also, it's going to be out of focus a little bit, but basically you can kind of see there it's fuzzy, but you can see the top of the hammer, and I polished it with Never Dull as well before I ever even shot it, and just got the rifle in really good shape. So something you might want to think about if you own a WASR, besides all these upgrades. Most of the upgrades I'm showing you aren't even necessary, but this is absolutely necessary for you to do. The paint they use on the inside of the weapon has a lot of friction to it, and so you want to do this for the sake of having your gun work smoothly. You can pay another $200 for an AK, or you can do some of this stuff. It takes about 20-40 minutes, and it'll save you a lot of money and you'll have a really great weapon. Okay, here's the finished product. Let me run you through it, and then I'll give you some close-ups at the end. But just to tell you what I've got on this baby. Starting on this end, I have a Fab Defense buttstock with a cheek riser and it's the model number GLR16-S. Right below that, you'll see a Tapco magazine. This is the Intrafuse models of AK mags from Tapco, and they fit in this rifle very snugly. One of the things that I had to do to be able to put on the Fab Defense buttstock is I had to take the original Romanian magazine and put it away, because the rifle comes with the designated number of American parts on it, and that includes the furniture, the wooden furniture on it. So when you take away furniture and add parts, you have to take away that magazine, which adds up to 3 parts: the follower, the butt plate, and the housing. And you got to replace it with an American part so that you have more American, so you can put another foreign part on there. And that's what I had to do. So moving right along, this is a Hogue pistol grip for AK. It's a rubber over mold, which is really cool, and it feels really good in your hand. Next, the charging handle. This goes over the original charging handle. It is a Tromix, I believe is the name of the company. Cylinder-shaped, bolt-on charging handle. You're going to need some red Loctite for that. And let me move on to the next thing. Let's see. This is a, sorry, it's too close to the mic. This is a UTG Pro aluminum foregrip. And then right on top, I've got a Bushnell TRS 25 red dot sight. Works great. I got it at the Bushnell outlet for way cheaper than most people are buying these right now. I'm using a Magpul Mvg, which stands for Magpul Vertical Grip. I cut about 1 inch off the bottom of that to make sure that the magazines could clear easily, and it works great. I am using Magpul XTM snap-on rail covers, and I'm checkering them in olive drab and black. Obviously, I've gone with an olive drab theme here. What you need to know about Magpul is their olive drab. If you haven't already been able to tell, you will when I do the close-up. Magpul's olive drab is darker than Hogue, Fab Defense, and oh, by the way, the magazines are covered with Krylon camo, which is part of their Fusion series, and that Fusion label means that it clings to plastic very well. So I also use Magpul ladder rail covers to cover the rest of the top rail, as well as there's 1 inch on each side where the snap-on rail covers don't cover, and it's just because of how the UTG is made. And so I was able to use, because you can cut those ladder rail covers, they're just plastic, you can cut them to the exact size you need, and it made for perfect to kind of cover up the second part of that. So I'm pretty happy about that. And right here is a Tapco muzzle device is what it's called, but it is in fact a flash hider. It has one flaw. I may be replacing it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But if you knock on that, it makes a ringing sound. It acts like a tuning fork, which is kind of annoying. The only other thing I need to tell you about is what's inside. I did take that retaining pin that's inside most of these AKs, at least definitely the WASRs, and it looks like they took a paper clip and kind of bent it up so it would work, and I replaced it with a Tapco retaining plate. Apparently the pin worked great for people, but it was obviously going to wear out faster. That plate is so much easier to take out and put in when you need to do work on the inside of the gun or take the safety off. And I also put in a blackjack recoil buffer, which, I'm not going to take it apart for you to show it to you. You can look those things up. But that's my list of upgrades. And like I said, coming up next, I'm going to just kind of do a pan of the gun, show you the stuff up close so you can see it, and that'll be the end of the video. Thank you.